Hello everybody and welcome back to Global Spec Racing. We are here for round 4 of the Tier 1 season. It is Austria. In this league, it is the 8th season of GSR. Pretty sure we've gone to Austria almost every time. It's a fan favorite. It's a great track. We love to race this track. I'm Ryan Ocon31 in the commentary box. I am joined by GSRTHRASHER9319. Welcome, Thrasher.
Thank you for having me.
Now, I apologize for starting late just by a little bit. I had to sort a few things out quickly, but we are streaming. We're on here, and we're all good. As you see, driver setting laps. And before we go over the driver setting laps and talk about the way the session is going, I first want to go over last season's race of Austria. Now, if we go back to the Austrian Grand Prix from last season, it was race number 7. Bad F1 opinion, won as a reserve. He got 25 points from that race by winning as a reserve. Jab was on the podium. FH was third in the Mercedes. And there were 9 finishers in that race. 18 drivers made a start in that race from last season. Thrasher, before we go over drivers making their first starts or returns, tell us a little bit about last season from Austria, since you were in the league at the time.
Yeah, so from what I remember, it was pretty much a wreck fest. It was retirements left and right. But I'm pretty all of Tier 1 last season, for the most part, was a retirement fest. So I'm glad to see that Tier 1's kind of improved a little bit this year. But yeah, last year's Austria race was a wreck fest, but Bad F1 opinion was able, as a reserve, to get the win. I remember interviewing him for the race, and it was pretty cool.
Now, Thrasher, I would like you to go over a lot of the drivers making their first starts or returning. I see a lot of drivers in this field that I've not heard of in a while, or a couple people have changed their gamer tag.
Yeah, so Cheetah, currently P2. This is his first start here in GSR, making his return. Recently has stepped down from admin and is running part-time Shizou Sam, otherwise known as Sam Cole, making his return today. We also
gotta remember he's in the academy and Finn's not, so we'll focus on that. If the academy driver or the main driver's faster from Shizou, we'll have to focus on that. That'll be something to focus on.
Yeah,
Sorry to cut you off, but go ahead.
Venom is making his return after getting banned after towards the end of last season. Venom is back.
Welcome back, Venom.
Yeah. And then trying to remember, there was one more that I missed.
What about JSR? BRT
Yeah,
JSR. What about him?
I was trying to look for him. BRT JSR making his debut in GSR.
Now, from last... Go ahead, sorry.
And also Rob Dog making his return. Race 1 and couldn't make the last 2, so he is back as well.
I was going to mention, based off of a lot of the penalties coming off of last race, last week's results had been changed based off of the fact that there were some post-race penalties handed out to drivers. One of those post-race penalties that you may notice is Brew Gorgon. Brew Gorgon got a race ban for his collision with Davis. He will not be racing today. He is under race ban. So in the AlphaTauri seat will be 2 different drivers. And the AlphaTauris will be... Let me just find the AlphaTauris quickly to make sure I get this right. FRT Heaven and V2K. I think I got the name right. I apologize if I butcher any names. Some of these guys are still new to me, at least, since returning to GSR from myself, so I apologize. But regarding what I said, Term got a penalty from last week's race. He won the race on track, won the race based off of everything, then got a post-race penalty, which put him down to P3, making Shizou Finn the winner for the first time in a long time in GSR. It's been quite a while, and I believe that is his first Tier 1 win as well. So congrats to him on that. And if it's not, I apologize for butchering that mistake. Now, regarding first starts, we've gone over that. Regarding last season's race of Austria, we've gone over that. But one thing we've not gone over is how the Tier 2 and Tier 3 race earlier this weekend was. So Tier 3 yesterday, I had crashed out of that one. I got really unlucky with another driver retiring on track, and it got in the way of me, and it took me out. I had possibly could have had been a Merc double podium with me and Riles, but my teammate Riles won the race. Congratulations to him on that. He's going to take the championship lead from that, and people noticed and people complained about it, and it's a fair point to do, I guess, that Harry didn't get moved up. Now, the reason for that, which I saw mentioned, was the TT barrier changed based off of new drivers joining and stuff like that. Therefore, that's the reason why Harry did not get moved up a tier. So he is in Tier 3. He got a podium yesterday, and I think, what was it, Alicio who got a podium, or who was it?
No, it was.
I don't remember now. Oh, he got the podium because of the timing glitch.
Yeah, it was Terry, Broken Reptile.
Riles and... Yeah, Broken Reptile, yeah, he got a podium too. So it'll be interesting to see in the championship fight toward Tier 3 who will be able to prevail from all that. It was not the cleanest of races, and I could tell you right now, based off of what me and Lando talked about heading into the Tier 2 race, me and Lando Norris, the Tier 2 driver, what me and him talked about was that, you know, at Austria, you got to have track position in order to recover. Communist in yesterday's race had fallen all the way to the back, and he couldn't recover at all. So a lot of these drivers, track position is going to matter more than you think it will. But regarding that, Tier 2 then. Tier 2 was quite an interesting race. I think it was Morgan or Mac, one of the Aston drivers in that race, had stayed out late in the race in order to try to have a chance for the win. A lot of people had penalties in that race. A lot of people picked up penalties, which compromised their chance at winning the race. But it was Vapor JS who was able to win it. Davis and Patriot were contenders for the win toward the end. They got taken out. They had a chance to possibly win. I mean, both them got into trouble at the start, and both of them tried to recover. They couldn't do so after getting crashed again. I spun at the start. I gone from 5th to 2nd. I reserved in the Tier 2 race. Gone from 5th to 2nd. I was just shy of a podium by a 10th, but the podium was Vapor JS, Lando Norris, and then FR77, who had the podium. And I gotta say, he started, I think, 8th in the safety car restart and was able to get the podium. Congrats to him by that. Me and him had a little battle into turn 1. Maybe made a little bit of contact, but it was fair in the end because he got the podium from it. So one thing I do want to go over before we talk about drivers on hot laps or the end of qualifying is you see Jab is currently on pole. The thing I want to talk about, I think, is most important. First, we're going to go over the combined constructors heading into this weekend because I don't think anybody else has done that. Leading the championship in the combined constructors into this weekend was Mercedes. They had a 16-point lead over Aston Martin. 4 points behind them was McLaren, and still very close with everybody else all the way to Williams, Ferrari, and even Red Bull and Alfa Romeo are in the hunt up there. And in the bottom 3 in the constructor and the combined constructors is Haas, AlphaTauri, and Alpine, with Alpine's 2-4 in the Tier 2 race. That'll definitely boost their chance of going up there in the constructor standings. Now, the Tier 1 championship standings. Jab leads the championship by over a race. It's the 2 McLarens 1-2. Lewis Such and Finn are 3rd and 4th. Then it's Term, Sabing Sock, the reserve, in 6th. And some notable names to notice here in the championship: Rev Caterpillar, who's had a lot of great pace in these races and a good chance at getting better results, has not got what he'd want to, what he would be wanting to. He's currently 9th in the standings. And yeah, I think Thrasher, it's fair for you to go over a couple other notable people in the standings too, with drivers and constructors after last week's race.
Yeah, so real quick, the race results from last week's race. Just to go over, we had Finn winning. We had Lewis 2nd, Term 3rd, Cameron 4th, Landon Norris the reserve 5th, Jab 6th with the fastest lap, Sobbing Sock 7th. XPG Wekaz was 8th, Jimbo in the reserve was a reserve 9th, and Louis M was running out the points. Now, record constructors go McLaren with a, hold on, let me make sure I don't butcher this, a 49-point lead over Red Bull. And then it goes Williams, Ferrari, Aston Martin, Mercedes, Alpine, Haas, AlphaTauri, and Alfa Romeo, with only 7 points. So, they'll be looking to step it up today with Black Brawl and GSR.
Now, something I will say, you do notice in the session term was not able to make it this week. I know that somebody who was able to challenge Jab last week was not able to make it this week. That'll be interesting when it comes to the championship, when it comes to everything else in this race. But yeah, constructors, you mentioned McLaren have a big lead. In fact, the lead they have is over a race. And this is crucial in the championship because
It's
McLaren
not over a
with
race.
well, it's crucial. Oh, in the constructors, 94 to 45.
Yeah, it's a 49-point lead, and
Yeah, but over a race gap though. Race gap would be 45 points.
27. Oh yeah, it would be. Never mind.
So why that's crucial though, Thrashers, because if McLaren end up having a mistake from both drivers or Red Bull have just a fantastic race, they could get themselves back within that barrier, and that'd be great. Also, it would work in McLaren's favor because they can clinch the Constructors' Championship early, and then it's between Jab and Turner for the Drivers' Championship. But the outlier there is Lewis Hutch and Shizou Finn. Before we go into these final laps with everybody, I want to go on board with one of the drivers on their lap. Shizou Finn into turn 1, and the Mercedes. You got to be able to not hit that yellow part at turn 1. If you hit that yellow part, you're going to invalidate yourself. And up to turn 2, then the braking zone at turn 3. Wide open with the DRS. He's got a purple sector 1. He's got the fastest sector 1. You got to go to the inside curb, not lose the rear right there. It's very easy to lose the rear, especially on every F1 game you play. At Austria, now the DRS down into turn 4. Into sector 2. On these final laps, Finn, you got to take a little bit of curb. He locks up just slightly. You can see lock the front. You got to take a more conservative line into turn 5. Then you have turn 5, 6, 7 into sector 3. Got to run that curb, but you can't go too far to the right or else you're going to invalidate. Then clip toward the inside curb, and he invalidated right there. Speaking of invalidations, that is what happens if you push a little bit too hard. But if he saves enough ERS, he can go for his final lap. And speaking about the final laps, we have drivers on their final laps. Here's the McLaren coming to the line. Jab's going to start his final lap to try to keep pole position right now. Then you have an AlphaTauri entering the final corner as well. Which AlphaTauri is that? That's FRT Heaven starting a lap. Then the Mercedes of Finn, he's going to start a lap. The Red Bull as well. That's
Sam, P2.
Which Red Bull is that? He goes P2. That'll be the front row for him. Then behind that, there's a big train of cars entering the final corner. The first of that train will be the AlphaTauri of V2K. He's going to start a lap. Then the Mercedes of Akos. Akos going to start a lap. The Alpine as well are also starting a lap. Then the Haas driver, Wekas, starting a lap. The Alpine behind that, starting a lap. It's the Aston Martin behind. Astrif starting a lap. Another Aston Martin. That's Cameron starting a lap. Every driver getting in their final laps that they can to possibly take pole. And what might be a crucial pole here, as I mentioned, track position might play a key in this race. Rev Caterpillar crosses the line. Cannot go any faster, but he might try for a second lap here. The McLaren crossed the line. That's Turner. He's going to try for another lap again, but he's invalidated. The Alfa Romeo's got to cross the line. That'll be Black Raw. He will get one final lap, and then the Alpine of FRT Venom in his return. He crosses the line. He's going to start a lap. I don't think he got on a lap right there. Then the Red Bull. That's Shizou Sam. Invalidated his lap. Then the McLaren comes across the line of Jab. I think he is going to have to start another lap unless he didn't improve there. Then here comes the other drivers. The AlphaTauris coming across the line. There's improvement from FRT Heaven, I think that is. Finn is up to 5th. And there's a Mercedes coming into the pits. Akos has retired, and he's going to be outside the top 10 for this race in starting position. Then you have the Aston Martin. You have a couple other drivers left in their lap. Coming to the line, it's Astrif invalid. But he might get one more chance at this. Timers ran out. Drivers trying to get a lap in. it's Turner who's going to enter the pit lane. So the highest for him will be 6th place at the time being. Black Raw entering the final corner. He's going to cross the line. He's going to have an invalid lap time. He cannot get valid right there. Outside the top 10. Then there's an Alpine coming across the line. Venom in his return. Just cannot improve.
Here comes Jab.
This is to keep pole position. This is to keep the championship lead. Jab crosses the line. He improves. He's going to be 2/10 out of the field. But can Finn say something about it? No, he goes to the 2nd row. The only other driver on a lap is Austria. Can he say something about it? He's invalidated. It's going to be Jab Bully MSU on pole position once again and spinning around. And the Aston Martin is Austria.
Not gonna lie, I was kind of hoping for a bit more exciting quality.
Yeah, thought so too. A lot of drivers couldn't improve, or they just invalidated their laps. But it is going to be Jab once again on pole position. Where have we seen this before, Thrasher?
I don't know, but where have we seen this top 3 before? That's the better question.
That's true.
Jab, Sam,
That's true.
Finn. Haven't we seen this before?
We've seen it many times before. And like I said, keep an eye on those 2 Shazoo drivers. The Academy driver of Sam out-qualified Finn. I think that'll be something that Shazoo will be joking about later on. But it is Jab, Sam, and Finn. It's a Mercedes Red Bull, or sorry, it's a McLaren Red Bull Mercedes at the top of the field. Then you have Cheetah making his debut. He's on the 2nd row. Rev Caterpillar, Turner, Cameron, and then I cannot see the rest because drivers have already readied up. Heaven, GSR, and then I don't know who
Ryan Oton, 31 is online.
Nice. But it is, as we mentioned, I think, as I mentioned to you, I don't know if I mentioned to this stream, but it is going to be a wet Austrian Grand Prix.
Oh, this is going to be exciting.
Now that's why track position is key now.
And that's
Can Jab survive at the front of the field in the wet?
Something else is we thought we were going to see a little bit more faster laps from these Tier 1 drivers. Maybe it's because they were on wet setups on why we didn't see faster laps set.
Well, regardless of wet setups, wet fastest laps, we'll see what drivers have the upper edge in this race. As we load into the race, Thrasher, 2 favorites, 2 drivers you think will impress in this race, improve on their positions, or simply give us a show?
Well, how can you not pick pole sitter? Jabol MSU. Jab has been, a great qualifying. I think it was, what was it, 2.5 tenths the gap from him to Sam. I believe, something like that. I know Jab, he loves this track, other than, he has some parts where he seems to struggle. But can Jab, possibly impress like he always does? Or could, my next driver, could Sam possibly, in his return back to GSR, return racing in GSR, could he possibly snatch the win from Jab?
I'm going to go with another Red Bull driver. If there's anybody to beat Jab in these kind of conditions, if he can keep it consistent, it's going to be Rev Caterpillar in the Red Bull. He starts 5th in this race. Track position might be key, but he might be able to give Jab a run for his money. And I'm also going to try to go a little bit down the order here. I'm going to go Turner as well in the McLaren, the other McLaren, where we're both picking McLaren and Red Bull, but Turner is 2nd in the championship. And the thing that's going to be most important for him, in my opinion, in this race is going to have to be cover off for Jab, and then it'll be them 2 at the front 2 fighting for the win. And he's got to be able to fend off everybody behind him and pass the people in front if he wants to have a chance for Jab, because a lot of the time, and even in Japan, we've seen Turner have the chance to fight Jab, but he's only 2-3 seconds behind. It's a little bit like Bottas and Hamilton a lot throughout the years at Mercedes, where those 2 drivers, they're not far off each other, but there's one driver clearly in front. It's been Jab. Can Turner maybe do that here at Austria today? I think he has a chance to, at least if anybody does. Compared to Jab, Turner, Rev Caterpillar, they might be the only 2 to give Jab a run for his money. We're waiting on the lights. We're waiting on the start. Here we go for the Austrian Grand Prix. Here we go for the 5 red lights. It's going to be 4. Now 5 red lights. It's a wet start to the Austrian Grand Prix. Jab's on pole. It's lights out and away we go. Jab got a decent start, but there's a little bit of wheel spin from the Red Bull and the McLaren. And in the back, there's Rev Caterpillar. Or sorry, the midfield that is. Him losing the rear. He's going to lose a couple positions, but Sam has to slot in behind Finn. It's Jab, then Finn, then Cheetah, the top 3. And you see throughout the midfield, drivers are jockeying for position. Turner's got a position on Cameron, but we head to turn 2. Turn 3, the braking zone. Here comes Finn on Jab for the lead on turn 3. The braking zone, the heavy braking zone where he gets ahead of Jab. Jab goes off the track, and Finn's going to take the lead, but they're still side by side. Finn's gone ahead for the time being. That's crucial in this race.
It looked like Finn sent a huge dive bomb, and it looks like it worked. It paid off.
Cameron on JSR, that's for a 7th position in this race. Cameron's gone ahead. Rev Caterpillar, who dropped down a couple positions, he's gone ahead as well. But it's Finn from Jab and JSR losing another position to Austria now. These drivers are really finding out how tricky the conditions are in the wet, as you see. Yeah, you're right about that. He's falling down the order, and he's having to let drivers go. But you can see how much these drivers can tell how tricky these conditions are when they're following one another in the dirty air. And it is Finn leading lap 1 ahead of Jab, and then ahead of Cheetah, who's getting challenged from Sam. And Turner lost the rear right there, and he's going to get overtaken by SRT as they head into turn 1.
An interesting lap 1. Some drivers picking up damage. JSR and Sabungsa going to hit.
Up to turn 3, the braking zone once again. Here comes SRT having a chance on Sam into the braking zone. You saw Sam making a mistake out of turn 1, which allowed Heaven to maybe get a chance on Sam, and Turner was right there to follow suit, but he just couldn't do so. And Rev Caterpillar right behind Cameron. He's going to go down the inside right at the braking zone, trying to get by Cameron. Cameron with the switchback, though. They're going to be wheel to wheel now, heading into sector 3. Both side by side. Cameron goes around. And I think he's ended up maybe picking up damage. You could tell he's losing time. He did pick up damage. Rusher, I'm going to have to grab a water quickly again. I've ran out of water, so you take over quickly. I'll beat 10 seconds.
Oh, yeah, sure. Akos now going to look around the outside. This is going to be a wonderful move for Akos if he can pull this off. And he does, as Cameron pulls off to the pitch. Jabs this the fastest lap. It's a 3.5 tenth gap to Finn. And we got yellow flags. That's XPG. That's the Haas spun off the final corner. Is able to get it back going. But it was almost a 1 second gap between Jab and Cheetah. It's now down a little bit, but here comes Jab all over the back of Finn. Oh, here can he? Can he send it into turn 4?
I saw Jab able to pull off moves from that far back. He might have a chance right here. He's got a little bit closer to Finn, but no, not enough. So Finn one wide there. He couldn't make the move right there. He had an opportunity to do so, but Finn loses the rear, and this is what is allowing Jab to catch up. These type of mistakes from Finn cannot be allowed when you are the race leader, and Jab's got almost so close. He's just a tenth behind, and down the order is Turner. He's out! Unbelievable! And his teammate that we thought could have a chance is not going to have a chance anymore, and that's brought out a virtual safety car in this race. That's the first one in this race, and Turner is out of this Grand Prix. Him keeping second in the championship might not be likely.
Looks like he may have had some help from FRT Heaven.
Rather that, or he lost it off the curb, because we saw the corner before Finn struggle on traction, and he could have struggled on traction out of that corner, or like you said, he could have had help from Heaven, or Heaven. I almost said Finn for a second, mixing those two up. But we get back to the safety car, our virtual safety car restart. Weckass got a drive-through penalty for speeding under the virtual safety car, but the top 8 are still all within a second of one another, and you can see these drivers being a little bit more impatient to try to get a move on each other, because they know if they get one move, they can still have a chance for the lead. And you see Sam losing the rear there for 4th place, trying to hold it on FRT Evan.
And so Turner did bend. He bent it off the curb. He did say, put it in the tier 1 general.
Definitely struggle for traction right there. if you're Turner. That's one thing that you hate to have
But
happen.
speaking of Turner, his teammate is continuing all over the back of Finn. You gotta
DRS
remember,
by
since it's a
Jab.
wet race, there is no DRS.
But what is important to know is that there's ERS and Finn locked up, going wide at turn 1. And that's going to allow Jab to get on the back of him. Here he comes for the lead. Jab to the left side on Finn into turn 2. Now to the braking zone at turn 3. He can't make a move there, but he might try on the outside. He cannot do so right there. The switchback's possible, and Finn got a poor exit. That's going to allow Jab to possibly go. He loses traction. Both of them lose traction. And now Finn has kept the lead still. After his poor exits, you could tell how hard it is to overtake in the wet conditions, which has allowed the top 10 to be all within a second of one another in the car in front. Make sure you get Weck-Ass back in. He is lagged out or left. One of the two, but Finn still controls this race over Jab, and what's important to know is the mistakes Finn is making can have a crucial matter later in this race on him. He's got to not make those mistakes if he wants to keep Jab behind him. That's what's important. Now there's only one McLaren left in this race. Both Mercedes are in the points, so Finn does have somebody to back him up. But Akos is down to 9th. That's what's important to know. If Finn had somebody like Turner for Jab, who would be probably up in the 6th or 5th area, that would help Jab. That would help
and
Finn
they
right
could
now.
just take fast as that. That's an extra point.
You're right about that. You're right about that. And the ERS difference between Finn and Jab is very noticeable, and there's a yellow flag that's subbing Soccer around. He might have picked up damage and spun in the same area Turner did, but except he kept his car in this race. And Austria and Venom are going to go wheel to wheel out of turn 3, the braking zone. Everin losing the rear as well, which might allow Rev Caterpillar to get to the back of him. JSR as well. He's set the fastest lap. You can tell.
Side by side.
You can tell the conditions are changing side by side into turn 4.
Oh, Austria is running Venom off.
And there's contact between the two drivers. And both of them are side by side. This is crucial for them to get up to the front of the field. And contact made once again. That's sent Astrif under the curb, but it's going to be Venom ahead of this time. And he's hit the back of him once again. Both side by side.
And Akos gets past Astrif.
Yeah.
And look at the top 4 now pulled away.
Yeah, you can see the difference in pace. Now, you saw Heaven lose the rear, which has allowed him to lose time to the front of the field. Weck-Ass has joined back, but the battle for the race lead is still continuing. V2K
another mistake from
the first penalty in this race.
1.
And you're right about that. Here comes Jab. Jab onto the rear. Now he's going to the left side. His chance to overtake Finn is becoming much more likely by the time being. And he has to yield to this one, but he can maybe try for a switchback. You can tell Finn is beginning a slow exit out of turn 2 and turn 3. Here he goes again. Jab to the inside. This is for the lead once again. Both them going wheel to wheel into the braking zone at turn 4.
And he ran Jab all the way down.
And here he goes again.
Side by side.
Jab has the preferred line into turn 6 or turn 5 and 6 this time. Finn though has got the inside. He's got by. Jab was trying for a switchback but couldn't do so right there. It's gonna be Finn still once again holding on to this lead. His mistakes are really costing him, but you can make mistakes and hold on to it like that, as you've seen right there. Just don't make a big enough one, Finn, because you have Jab, a champion in this league, right in the back of you, which is very important to know.
Don't forget, look who's right behind this. Cheetah in his debut.
The reserve in the Alpine. The reserve in the Alpine. We saw a reserve win this race last season. Can we see another reserve have a chance to win this race this season? Finn made a mistake again at turn 1, which has allowed Jab to get back out of the back of him.
Jab didn't
get the traction he wanted.
Either.
And now this has allowed the top 10 to catch back up within a second of the car in front with the intervals. And you can see Cheetah is also desperate to get to the back of Jab. Look how much closer he's got. 4 exits from Jab and Finn, but both of them almost level with each other. Jab, more ERS though. That's what might matter here into turn 4. Not enough though for an overtake. Just not enough.
Yeah, Jab looks like he tries to, he can't complete the move. He can dive it down. He just can't seem to complete the move. Oh, and that shoots around.
Oh, he's out of the race. That might bring out a safety car, and it is going to bring out a
Virtual.
virtual safety car. This might get changed to a full safety car depending on what the game decides. I know
And
that
Jab
happened in
pit.
Tier 2 and Tier 3.
He almost pit, and then he faked
Oh, he
it.
faked it. Faked it. I'm going to fix the brightness, because I know Davis told me to fix that with the settings. That might make sense. Yeah, we'll put it up to 80. That should work. I don't know if that's a little too bright, but maybe not. We'll see. Virtual safety car, though. Yeah, check the stream. Tell me if that's too bright. I think that's good. I think we're all good, Davis. But,
yeah, that's fine.
Okay, yeah, good. Okay, that's a little bit better. I just haven't really commentated much in this game to the point where I adjust it, so that that helps. But either way, this virtual safety car is going to end soon, and you can tell Jab wants to get a run on Finn here for the lead. Right before we get to the VSC restart, I want to mention that check out SilentX Energy at some point in this race. I've stole it from Storm again, but this is crucial for this safety car restart. They're a good partner to us. They're making merch now for the league once again. But Finn has got the lead for now. He's going to have to try to keep it on this VSC restart. Jab is trying to get next to him. You can tell the VSC's ending at some point soon because Jab's trying to get by. They're side by side now. Jab is taking advantage of the safety car restart. They bang wheels. This is unbelievable. Jab is taking advantage, and just like I said, that VSC was ending side by side, but it's going to be Jab and then Finn. Finn goes wide, and Jab could not get ahead right there, but he's backing him off into Cheetah, which has allowed him to catch up. He was 8/10 back. Now he's 4. Unbelievable.
Jab almost had it. Almost caught
I know.
Finn sleeping.
But
And
he's
here
caught
comes
him
another
sleeping
mistake.
again.
Here it comes.
Look at this. To the left side, Jab's providing us an entertaining race with this move. Side by side, he's farther ahead this time. Both wheel to wheel into the braking zone at the hairpin. Can Finn get ahead? Finn's got ahead, but he's got
pushes
the
him
track.
off.
Jab has. Here comes Cheetah. Cheetah's on the back as well. They're both making contact. Unbelievable racing at the front of the field, which has allowed 3 drivers to go and get this run for the lead. But it is going to be Finn maintaining the lead, but Jabs are on the outside. Can he keep it going? Yes, he can.
Finn's not giving him a lot of room.
Both these two drivers who've battled for championships, it's allowed Jab to go ahead. Both these two drivers who've battled for championships and battled for race wins have now settled themselves into 2 positions, and I think now I can breathe.
Yeah,
Unbelievable.
Jab realized that Finn wasn't giving him a lot of room, but Jab with the, obviously with how good of a driver Jab is. Fair play to Jab, and that takes the lead and now looks to pull away from Finn.
Sam is also caught up to the back of Cheetah, and you know that's going to be crucial for these guys to catch up, but Finn has had the lead basically this whole race, and the thing is now he's got put in dirty air, so he's going to have to use a little bit of his overtake to catch Jab, and you know Jab has saved a lot of that overtake like he always does. So that might be the difference in this race, and here goes Venom looking for a move on Heaven, could not complete that at the hairpin. Heaven losing the rear, so does Sam.
So let's see, Jab is at 70, Finn at 30.
So that's what I mean. That's the difference. Jab saves a lot of his ERS, and that's what's crucial to get him race wins, and that might have been crucial to get him by as Sabin Saka set the fastest lap. And Finn,
almost
you
lost
mentioned,
it.
But he's able to keep on to 2nd place.
And Jab now looks to do what Jab does best, gets out to the lead and pulls away.
Yeah, that's true, and he, if it does get dry at any point, which I don't know if it will, it looked like it stayed inners, but it looks like it's got slightly drier, as I mentioned, because, those guys who were setting the fastest laps, they've been going faster and faster and faster every single time, so I wondered if the track was drying or not, but if it does end up drying, and DRS does get enabled, the whole top 9 are still within a second of the driver in front, and Jab and Finn, the gap between them is still 6/10 in this race, the battle for the lead, still eating up. But Jab, that overtake was beautiful. I think they need to put that on the TikTok or something like that. That battle, whew, worthy of overtakes the week, worthy of overtakes. And Weckass has picked himself up, I believe, a first penalty in this race. There's 5 drivers who've picked up time penalties from track limits. Black Raw on the back of Akos. That's for 8th place. This is at the back of this train.
And
why is
another
this
snap
important,
from
though?
Finn.
You might ask, why is that important for that position, though? Well, if Black Raw gets by Akos, he can go fight at the front of the train. If Akos gets stays ahead, if it does, I don't know what the conditions look like, and we don't know what the conditions look like. It's Cheetah,
Cheetah
3rd place gets a penalty. Well, but why I mention that's important is because here's a move in a turn 1. Venom on Heaven. They're both wheel to wheel. Venom's going ahead, but Heaven is trying to switch back, loses the rear. But why is that important? You mentioned because if DRS does get enabled, and if this does end up drying up at any point,
here comes Heaven to the outside. Sorry to interrupt you, but
all good. Here we go, Heaven. Trying to go around the outside. Venom, though, has covered it off beautifully. But why is that important, though? This train was staying with the front of the field. Now they're not. Finn's out of DRS, if that does get enabled. And out of a second. Venom's out of a second as Sam. So that's why the back of that train, that determines what the future of the race looks like, in a way. They're the ones
you can tell the rain is
pushing themselves up. It is. But what you see in these trains with these drivers, they're getting caught more behind each other, which is allowing for more spray to kick up, more dirty air, and that's probably why a lot of these drivers like Venom have lost time to Sam. But Cheetah's got a penalty, and that's for the podium position right now, which would put Sam back onto the podium, similar to the starting positions in this race, if this race were to end as of right now.
Yeah, but in his debut, what a debut so far. You know, take away the penalty. But still, what a debut from Cheetah so far. Hopefully I don't jinx him, because I have a habit of doing that. But
we all do.
But something that may not be jinxing, look at the gap. Jab and Finn, just 5 laps to go, were battling side by side for the lead. 5 laps later, the gap's 1.6 now.
It's very true, and it just shows how much things can change and how much Finn was struggling. Wetgas has picked up his 2nd track limit penalty in this race, and Heaven's also losing time to Venom, while Venom gains it back to Sam. It looked like you were going to mention something right there. What were you going to mention, Thrasher? I saw you slip up there.
Oh, yeah, I was just saying Black Raw and Akos, this battle starting to get good again. But Black Raw lost time. So.
I mean, these guys are at the back of this train, so, I mean, they can definitely save ERS. Oh, there's a crash. That's Comac. And he is down outside of the points. Got it back going. This will not bring out any sort of virtual safety car or safety car. Now, I don't think any of these drivers who are at the front of the field can make it the rest of the way. Race. You are right about that one. He's close to Finn for 2nd place in this race. He's got to the back of him. Hit the back of him. Yellow flag. There's a Haas off. That is, yep, you're right. Don't know if he's got damage, but he's far in the gravel. And this battle for 2nd place.
And he's retired on track.
Retired on track. You cannot do that, especially knowing from tier 3. Yeah, from me hitting the back of the Red Bull who retired on track in tier 3. But luckily, this car goes off track. See, you need to retire in the pit lane. You can't do that. He's going to get a big penalty for that one. As he should.
Yeah, I was getting ready to say that. 87 in chat, Jab and Finn's battle was basically a carbon copy of Archie and Taishi's battle in tier 3. So,
yeah.
And towards the back, basically, Taishi and Archie was having probably one of the greatest battles of the weekend so far. And it kind of looked exactly like the Jab and Finn one.
I was going to say, speaking of battles, 2 drivers who got closer is for 2nd place in this race. Cheetah has a penalty. Finn does not. So for 2nd place in this race, he's going to go down the inside of Therapin, but he locks up. And Finn has to go off the racetrack. Cheetah's gone by, but Finn, as he re-enters the racetrack, gets a little bit sideways. And it's going to allow Sam to catch back up, but he has to slot back in behind Cheetah. And here he comes around the outside once again for 2nd place. Cannot do it, but Sam's gone down the inside. Cheetah's gone wide. And he clipped the grass for a second, but he's still going to stay ahead. And all these guys are losing time to Jab now. 3.7 back, and here's Sam down the inside. Making contact with the other Shizou driver. Sam goes ahead of Finn right there. Unbelievable.
And look who's right behind Look at this, Venom.
Venom in his return, and look where he started in this race. He started down in 10th. I told you, why is the back of the train more important? He got himself out of that. He got himself by Heaven, who's picked up a penalty, and he's got himself toward the front, and Heaven has lost the rear, which has allowed Rev Caterpillar to go past, and is now going to allow Akos to think about it.
And real quick, looking at turn 1.
Oh!
Sam.
Heaven almost hit the back of Caterpillar. I'm sorry to cut in, and they're both going wheel to wheel down to turn 2.
Finn down the inside of Sam.
Couldn't make a move.
Runs into the back of Finn.
Heaven on Caterpillar as well. There's 2 separate battles going on at once, and there's a yellow flag. That's Cameron out of the race. Can this bring out a safety car? Yes, it will. That crucial move for Rev Caterpillar. That was crucial, and so was the Sam and Finn one.
Let me tell you, who did not want that safety car?
Jab.
That is McLaren. That is 2 weeks now.
In a row.
That Jab has been screwed off of a safety car.
You do make a fair point there, Aid, as you mentioned their battle. But one other battle I do want to mention is the battle for intermediates to maybe put on some new tires, because a lot of drivers were struggling right there. Will anybody pit? Jab does not.
Stays out.
Which is surprising to me.
Cheetah stays
It's surprising.
Out. Sam stays out. Finn stays out. Everyone's staying out.
Everybody, except for Akos and Black Draw. Now, what I wonder is, Akos in the grass right there for a moment in the pit lane. But what I wonder is, I thought these drivers' tires would have been much more shot. They're not, unless they're just thinking that they can go the whole race. I really did not think they could.
Akos is on the mediums.
Oh, is the track dry? No, it's raining still. No, but did Jeff tell them? Now, Black Raw pitted for the inners and Akos pitted for mediums. One thing I wonder here, did Jeff say to these guys that the track is going to dry up? Because look at the rain. It's not raining as heavy, but it also is still raining.
But there's a lot of water on the track.
And yeah, exactly. And even this might be one of the shortest tracks when it comes up to drying up for spray and stuff like that. But is it going to be drying up once the safety car restarts? I know everybody else just pitted because it's going on into inners. He's the only one going mediums. This is a very bold choice, but I don't know if it's going to pay off. I'd like to see it pay off, but it's not gonna, I don't think.
Akos could be setting himself up. You know, if he can, keep his, mediums not too worn.
Yeah.
He could potentially set himself up for later on. And what is happening in the mid-pack?
V2K with the safety car glitch? What was he doing? That's weird. Well, he's the only one pitting, but that's...
So yeah,
yeah, well, you can't pass the safety car. That could get him disqualified. I don't know if you will, but that's a bit concerning to me, because that could have caused an accident. I didn't catch that fully on stream, which I apologize for. But he's also pitting for the mediums. Is this race gonna be a dry ending? And you see, it is dry. It is like lessening with the rain. It's not drying up, but it is lessening. And there's barely any drops coming down on the track, and I think that rain has just stopped. Has the rain stopped, Thrasher? You're the weatherman, Storm.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. I appreciate it. It looks like it's stopped raining, but the track is just... It's still wet.
And there's still a little bit of spray, not much. I mean, if you look on the drivers on board, there will be.
I mean, I understand why Akos, V2, and now Cormac. I mean, I understand it, but I think it's a little too early.
Well, in my league, in the realistic league of mine, F1 driver pulled the same strategy off that Akos, V2K, and Comac are pulling off, with going onto these tires very early. I mean, we remember, Thrasher, I don't know if you were in that race or not at USA, but everybody in the whole league at the time who was racing that race thought it was way too early. It was way too early to go. It was way too early. I mean, you wrecked out, but everybody in my party and just in general thought that's way too early, except for the people who pitted and gone onto that. There were 3 drivers who did so, and the 3 drivers who did so gone on to dry tires, who knew there was a chance that there are drivers pitting. Finn is the first one. Next up is Black Raw. So he may have chose the wrong tires, Black Raw, and that's going to cost him track position. JSR's pitting. They're all going on to dry tires. Finn onto softs. Can you make softs again, though? That's bold. But there's still, like I mentioned, look at the drivers on board right here. There's still a ton of spray. You got to get your tires up to temperature. That might be the one thing that might screw Jab and everybody else out when they pit. Their tires are not going to be up to temperature. Keep your tires up to temperature and you might have a chance. Now there are 6 drivers out of the 16 left running on dry tires.
I just think it's too early.
Well, JSR pitted for inners, so he could benefit. I don't know.
I honestly, we'll see. You know, these dry runners. We'll see if they if they gain spots. But I mean, it's still raining a little bit, and there's still spray. Track's still wet. Safety car's in this lap.
Well, I can tell you right now, even though the safety car is in this lap, there is less rain particles coming down than there was earlier. That these drivers run over.
You could have
is
said,
there less spray?
Just said
No.
raindrops.
Well, rain particles, raindrops, they're the same thing. But
You don't need your scientific answers.
well, oh, Comac is on soft tires, and he did change tires once again. He's almost spun out of the pit lane exit, and we have problems at the back between JSR and Rossi, and this is going to be problematic for those guys.
And
Knife
Sock is just passing people. I am lost on what's happening here.
Well, we're not going to focus on the back, because at the front of this field, Jab is underway once again. He leads this safety car restart as the track dries up. Akos is the first driver on dry tires. He's on the mediums in 9th or 8th place. This might be crucial to where his race could go.
It's dropping.
It is, but will it drop in the long run?
But
That might be what
be
plays the
too late.
difference.
I mean, just look at this. Look, JSR just flew by him.
On the inners, yeah. He can't keep it straight in a
And
straight
Finn's
line.
struggling.
Well, we have positions being traded at the back of the field between a couple ghost cars, but
Oh,
Finn's in the
Finn.
wall! And he might have got damage. And he spun out at turn 2, and he's half spun it, and he's gone off. And he is trying to be out of this race at this point, I think. Well, he's trying to keep it on track, but he can't. He can't keep it on track, and that's going to be a problem for the dry tire guys. Akos is now behind the leader by 12 seconds. So yeah, although usually that strategy would pay off, it's taking forever for the track to dry up. It's not time for the dry tires at all. Even Jab's struggling from the lead, though.
It was way too early.
Even Jab's struggling from the lead on old inners. That's the thing. At the final sector, he kept going wide, and I mean, he might have picked up a track limit warning. Jab might have, but it is too early for these dry tires. But the question is, will it pay off in the long run?
And Rossi and Rob Dog has pit off.
Well,
the
why they might have pitted though? If you look at the spray from Akos's point of view, it's less spray, but it's still not enough.
It's just still losing time.
Yellow flag. That's Comac. He's gonna go a lap down at this point. New inners for Rossi and Rob the top dog. So
and
the thing is,
Finn goes on new softs. You know,
yeah.
I can only question these decisions.
Well, once DRS does get enabled, you will see a lot more drivers start pitting. But now, it's a big question.
It's too early. It's just, I mean, I think these guys who have gone on the dry tires have just screwed their screwed a shot. Screwed any chance they had of winning this race, unless another safety car comes out.
That's what I'm saying. Even Akos is 16 seconds behind the car in front, and he's still losing tons of time. 23 seconds now.
Yeah, this was horrible mistakes from the guys that went onto the dry tires.
Well, it might be less spray, but it's not less of a chance for Jab to win. It's in fact increased his chances of winning this race.
Now it has stopped raining.
That's true, and there's a lot less spray. It's going off at the hairpin. Was, I think, a car behind, but behind that, it's Wolf and JSR wheel to wheel, and you will see during this time period, as there is less spray on the track, more drivers possibly going for the dry tires. But when is it time? You got to make it You got to make it be at the right time. This is such a short track that a lot of time could be lost, and now you see much more spray.
It's still raining on parts of the track.
That's true. Sector 2. Sector 2, the big part of the track, that it is still raining. So in Sector 1, the spray's gone. Everything's gone in Sector 1. But as you enter Sector 2, it's still there. Well, for this lead, it's a second. And pitting is Rev Caterpillar. Is this early? GSR2.
Not time. I
think you need another lap. You need another lap or two at least. At least. At minimum. And then you can make it on softs for sure. But the one thing, if it does stop raining fully in every part of the track and the sprays, you see right there. If you look on board with Sam in the rear, no spray at all right there. But once you enter towards Sector 3, there's still spray.
Oh no!
Now,
I was gonna say it's time, but
yeah, now these drivers are struggling. You saw Sam out of traction right there. We're gonna focus on the gap with Rev Caterpillar to this lead, 14.5 right now. Let's see what that gap changes to. Subbing Sock is still going faster on the inners. Now, Rev Caterpillar is losing time, but he's not losing as much time as we thought he would. And Jab has picked up a penalty. That's crucial. That's from the lead. DRS enabled. Now you gotta pit. Now you gotta pit. Will Jab come into the pit lane?
Yep.
The top 3 is in. The top 4 is in. 5, and so is Wolf. Now, 14.5 was that gap with Rev Caterpillar. Now, with him being closer, he's 13.6. This could be for the race lead or for a podium here. And I think Jab and Sam got held in the pits possibly. No, it was Cheetah who did. Cheetah had a penalty. I was mistaken there. I apologize. But Rev Caterpillar's on the front straight now and crosses the line. He's going to be side by side with third out of the pit lane, possibly second. He's got third. Now he's got his teammate in front of him who is trying to weave and gain temperature in the tires, and that's one thing Caterpillar will have. Look at that. Wide at turn 3 for Sam. But Rev Caterpillar has an opportunity to take second place back in this race and go fight for the win at Jab. Both these guys have no penalties. And V2K is retired on track again. That's a second retirement on track. Unbelievable.
You can't do that,
disappointed.
People.
I'm disappointed.
And Finn got a penalty. Guys, it's not that hard. Dive it into the pits, you twats. Not that
Takes
hard.
what? 30 seconds till you get back to the
literally.
pits? Takes 30 seconds.
I thought we would have learned this lesson from yesterday, but I guess not.
Well, because it's going to take somebody out on track if, people continue to do it, and it's going to cause a massive accident. It's going to cause the people leaving the league, and Caterpillar has got a penalty. That is crucial in this race again, because now Sam is less than 3 seconds from Jab, and the net podium would stand as Sam, Jab, Caterpillar. Akos at turn 1 was on the back of Wolf. He's on medium tires, and he's on much worn tires, and you know that Akos has got to be frustrated with the way this race is played out. Locks up the rears and locks up the fronts as well. I think both at the same time into turn 3. It's Cheetah behind Caterpillar, almost hitting the back of him. Yellow flag, that's the Ferrari off. That's Comac who's got spun on the straight. So one thing I have noticed as Finn takes over the fastest lap again, and you will be seeing the track get faster as the time goes on. But one thing I've noticed, it is still wet a little bit, but it is obviously enough time for dries. That's been told so far. One thing I have noticed, except for the... Oh!
Hold on, I gotta check if you got a warning for that.
Akos has got a penalty. Cheetah's got fastest lap. Cheetah's also got another penalty.
What?
What happened?
Sam went so wide in the final corner. Into the final corner.
Speaking of Sam, he's got there's the Red Bull teammate challenging. That's Caterpillar. He's got Cheetah behind too. But the thing I noticed from the time they pitted is Sam has got himself within that gap once again. He was outside of it of 3 seconds before the before the pit stops. Now he's got himself back in it. I mean, that gap has been going back and forth, but he's got himself within 3 seconds. Maybe not right now. He's close to being without it. And that will be the crucial parts in this race for Jab. But there's a yellow flag. That's Finn out of the race, spun out of the final corner. Jab does not need a safety car. He cannot have a safety car. He's got a safety car. Unbelievable. Again. Jab's race has been compromised for the second week in a row. Off of leading to a safety car.
At what point are we going to feel for Jab here?
At what point are the driving standards going to get better? Because even Tier 3 was not great. I know a lot of people complained about Tier 2, and now Tier 1, the driving standards have still not been great.
At some point, you have to feel for Jab. I mean, this is 2 weeks in a row. We got screwed out of a win last week with a safety car.
Well,
he's going to get screwed again. Unless he has a warning, he can get removed. And, I mean, I think it's race over.
Well, one thing I will say, though, that I do feel for Jab, that is, with penalties and with everybody else pitting, Jab has a 3-second. It gets overtaken by Sam on this restart. That's going to change things. Gap to leader here, and penalties. Everybody has everybody in the top 10 has a 3-second time penalty except for Sam and Venom. And one thing I want to mention is Jab had a possible 8 or so, something like that, 8 consecutive podium streak going until last week when he got knocked off the podium and passed on the safety car restart. He was struggling very badly. He's got a penalty here, and he might lose a chance to win for the second week in a row. But he's still championship leader, though. So that's what matters, because Turner crashed out. Lewis Such didn't show up. Finn crashed out of the race. Term wasn't here. So he's going to keep the championship lead no matter the circumstance. And McLaren will also keep the constructors. But, you know, if I'm Sam here, you know, I know he does not have a penalty. But I would want to get by Jab. And the sole reason for that is, now I'm going to check Jab's warnings. What if Jab does have enough warnings to appeal there? He got a warning on lap 27. I want to check if that was for a collision or a track limit. I want to assume it's for a track limit. It was, I think. Let me check quickly. Yeah, track limits. So, the important thing for Sam is, what if Jab does appeal those? You got to get by him. And you also could lead your teammate on as well. To possibly pass Jab as well, which could make the difference for second place in this race, because right now Sam's the net leader based off of penalties, and Sam's just going to trying to win this as a reserve, and I would like to see him do so, considering a reserve won last season and a reserve could win this season. But I mean, look, if I'm a driver in Sam's position, I want to win this on track as much as I do. I hate winning off penalties, I really do, but do what you got to do. Safety car being a slap. You're right. So, Thrasher, before we got restarted, talk about SilentX Energy, since you've not got a chance to.
Well, SilentX Energy is a wonderful website ran by SilentX. Used to be GSR SilentX. He is selling, he's selling healthy drinks, or healthy energy drinks. Now, we have GSR merchandise coming out soon. We've got hoodies, t-shirts, caps, hats, and hold on, what's the other one? I might blink.
Well, before you continue, Jab is away, and he's got a big lead now. 4 tenths, 5 tenths, and he's got away from Sam as we enter the safety car restart. I wanted you to mention that before the safety car restart, but Venom is trying on efforts he haven't for 6th place in this race in his return. Now he does not have a penalty, and we saw FR on no penalties go from 8th to 3rd in the Tier 2 race. Can he do the same? And here comes GSRTHRASHER for 4th place in this race, down the inside at the hairpin.
And Sam spins!
Sam spins, and that's crucial in this race. Unbelievable. He's gone around, and he has... Oh, my Lord. His chance for the win is gone, and now here comes Venom on his teammate Cheetah around the outside. Contact's made. Now Venom is the only hope on no penalties to possibly pass Jab for this win, and this crucially helps out Jab, and off is Cheetah. Off. And he saved it from going around. Unbelievable how he saved it. And there goes stopping a Black Raw. Around. Sabing Sak could also be on for a podium in this race. The gap from him all the way to JSR is 2.5 seconds. And he could be on for another Williams podium this weekend. And Akos has let him through. That's Black Raw off again. Not out of this race. And not out of a chance for points, to be fair. He's just lost the rear. Yeah, his rears are gone. But the big battle between Rev Caterpillar and Jab 2.4 right now. Behind that, JSR is on the podium right now. But on track only. Because Venom is right near him too. And the gap between Venom and Jab is 3.4. So he's not close enough for this race win. But he is gaining.
Haven't picked up a penalty.
Well, that is true. That's also crucial. Cheetah picks up another one.
Cheetah.
Oh boy.
Yellow flag.
That's Black Raw once again. DRS enabled. He spun out again. Now, I wonder, with him parked here right now, is he going to get Jab DRS to be able to pull away? He could do that.
It looks like his tires are just way overheated.
His tires are, but he's got to make sure they aren't if he's trying to get Jab DRS, because 3.3 set gap, and you know Venom could have a chance, and JSR is down the inside of Caterpillar into the hairpin. Now here comes Venom down the inside. Is it 2-1 getting past for Caterpillar? Yes, it is. Venom's going through, and here comes Caterpillar back at it. Into turn 4, Venom is not close enough on that gap, but he's just slightly outside of it for a race win, and they make contact, they touch, and now Venom goes ahead. Heaven's trying to go through. Caterpillar's losing many positions right here. It might be 3 now. Oh, side by side, it's still Caterpillar ahead, but the switchback from Heaven, it's not close enough, and I apologize for many voice cracks. I might need some more water. But speaking of that... Oh no! Venom has picked up a penalty.
If I'm Jab, you can't get another penalty.
Now he does. Now remember, before that safety car restart, he did have an extra warning with it, and he did pick up another one on lap 32.
So Jab can't get another warning. If he can hold on, not get another warning, I think he has this race won.
Well, Sabing Sak could have a podium. Look at this gap between third place in this race. They're all on Venom. Caterpillar's down the inside of Venom at turn 4. He's trying once again for this position because he knows he's got a penalty. There's contact. Around goes Heaven, and he's got no front wing.
Did he reset
Unbelievable.
The track?
No, I don't know. But unbelievable turn of events to this race. I know he's got damage, and he spun and did a bunch of 360s. Sabing Sak, who started down in P19, the reserve driver, started on the restart. He was down, I think, around the 10th place area. He is on for a podium, and Cheetah's got another penalty. Heaven is coming into the pit lane, maybe going for fastest lap or retiring the car. One of the two might be being done, but here comes FRT Venom for second place in this race. And even if these guys do want a chance at Jab, based off of if he picks up another penalty, they're not even within 3 seconds. Venom's gone through. Now here comes JSR back at it. This is for second place, challenging again on track. The podium positions are all still being determined as the Alfa Romeo goes around the outside and can't make the move complete. Behind that, Sabing Sak is still on Caterpillar for 4th place in this race. Oh, Caterpillar's made a mistake, and Sabing Sak is trying to go through but can't make the move right there. Nor can Akos, who's picked up another penalty. 15 seconds now, and Jab's picked up the penalty. Now Venom needs to catch up. He's 3 seconds on penalties. He can't get another one either. With 2 laps to go, this race still isn't over.
It helps Sabing Sak.
You're right.
For the win.
You're right. He does not have a penalty. 5.1 seconds back from the lead. Can he win this race from 10th on the safety car restart and 19th on the grid? And out is Comac.
Okay, he drove straight on. There's no way he didn't.
JSR and Venom are side by side for the podium position still. Venom's going ahead. Here comes Caterpillar once again. Something sucks now challenging. He needs to be within 6 seconds. Now JSR is going by Venom. Now Rev Caterpillar's down the inside. Contact!
These guys
It's all
battling
kicking
is holding up Sobbing Sock.
It's 5.5. It's not going to be enough if they continue at this rate. 5.8 for him. This is unbelievable turn events to this race. He's going to be on for a podium if he keeps it up, but not for the win. He's just barely in it.
It's a...
Oh my god, I feel for him. I really feel for him. Because he could get this win. He really is just barely outside of it now. Jab's put on the fastest lap.
He's pushing hard.
You know he is.
The final lap.
The only thing that's keeping Caterpillar, and here goes Akos. Akos is down the inside, he's through. 6.2, and he's lost it, and he's spun, and he's going around. Now for second place, JSR's going through, Venom's going through, they're 3 wide. 5.8 is that gap once again, they're making contact, off they go.
And
now
here comes
Sobbing Sock, 4 wide. They're 3 wide now into the turn 4, and this is going to allow Sobbing Sock to have the chance he needs to get this win. Unbelievable turn events to the end of this race. It's 5.9, 6.0. It's just not enough, and there goes Venom off. It's all kicking off. 6.0. Jab has put on an amazing race with his teammate not here to back him up to possibly win this race. He'll win it on track, but can Sobbing Sock get that gap back? 6.1, 6.2.
Oh, this is going to be so
Jab
close.
has won the race on track. It's going to be close, but can it be enough? At the final corner, JSR holds on to the podium on track, but Jab has got it. Jab is going to win another GSR race by purely holding on by just 4/10. Sobbing Sock started 19th, and he picks up a podium from being 10th on the safety car restart. And Caterpillar, who had an amazing battle with everybody else who finished within the top 6, has got himself a podium over Sam. Unbelievable. I think I need to take a breath. What an amazing race. What an amazing end. Unbelievable.
You really have to feel for, or you really have to, be happy for Jab, because so many times the safety car, twice this race, the safety car potentially would have screwed him.
Well, every driver's now finished the race. Red Bull, good result for them. That will bring them up in the constructors. But Jab is your winner of the Austrian Grand Prix, just barely. Now, Sobbing Sock, you also have to feel for him because you know he had a chance for that win. And he had a great safety car restart. He got a podium, but not enough for the win. And I really do feel for him because he had a chance for that win. He had a major chance at that end. And it just slipped away because of all the battling. And I said if they continue to keep it up, he won't get it. And he didn't get it. In the last 4 sectors, he lost a second to the leader. That's unbelievable. Now let's get our podium. I am truly out of breath. I don't know what to make of that. That was a crazy ending, which has allowed Jab to seal the win. The fastest lap, the pole, 27 points for him, but just barely. And look at that. 6 pit stops by the Williams driver, Sobbing Sock, but holds on to a podium. Unbelievable. Unbelievable turn events in this race. Jab, I think you've got to be literally shitting yourself right now. Unbelievable. I know I've said it a lot, but that is truly why you need to tune into GSR. What an amazing end to that race. Red Bull's got to be happy with that. Williams have to be happy with that. And so does our race winner, Jab, who has barely held on to win another race in GSR. And now that is going to be, I want to say that's a 2-race lead almost, or something like that. Continues to impress our Tier 1 champion from last season. The same driver who won this race won at his first start at Monaco back in Season 1, and he's never looked back ever since.
I'll send one more.
I think he's on Do Not Disturb.
Yeah, he is on Do Not Disturb.
Well, let's talk to our race winner first.
No, start from the back, you muppet.
Oh, God. Okay. Well, yeah, we'll wait. We'll wait for
I don't think
Caterpillar.
he's joining.
Yes. Okay, so then I'll start from Sobbing Sock. I think that's the better choice because he was so close to the win. You, Sobbing Sock, make sure you include your audio. You were 10th, around 10th. I don't know if that's correct, but I know you were
there's
around the
Caterpillar.
10th. Oh, well, we'll continue with Sobbing Sock first because we started with him. But yeah, make sure you include your audio. Like I said, you were around 10th in the safety car restart. Started 19th in this race, and you almost, and I mean almost, pulled off the win. That's gotta feel. I gotta feel for you, and I think you gotta feel for yourself right there. That was tough at the end for you.
Yeah, I'm happy that P2. I got taken out in qualifying on my last lap. Somebody just didn't move on the racing line, and I also messed up the strategy about 4 times. I made 6 stops, but I got the last one all right, and I didn't know I could have won until the last lap. Otherwise, I would have made more of an effort to overtake the people in front of me. 0 penalties.
Well, yeah, I mean, you were the only driver up there who, at the end, kept it penalty free and did enough to have a chance for that win. I mean, you were in that train, you caught up. I saw in this restart, you were down in 10th, and I'm like, hold on. He's got no penalties. I mean, we've not focused on him, but he might be a factor in this, and you were a factor at the end. You got yourself a podium. You got to be happy with the podium, but do you think the win was possible, if not for the heavy battling in that train at the end?
Yeah, probably. It probably cost me a lot of time just being stuck behind him for quite a few laps as well. As much as if I had clear air, I would have probably been able to catch pretty easily. But
Now, next week is Silverstone, a home race for you. What do you expect there next week?
it's never been my best track, but I reckon I can do alright on it.
Well, congratulations on the podium.
Cheers.
Thrasher, do you have any questions for him?
No, but what a miraculous drive, and congratulations.
Thank you.
Well, Rev Caterpillar, I've got to ask you about that podium. You held on compared to your teammate who finished 4th off penalties after spinning. You had an amazing battle within 2nd place on back. It was a lot of touching, a lot of banging, but you held on for 3rd place in this race. Make sure your audio is included. I've got to ask, was the win possible today if not for the penalties?
No. Oh.
Now with the battling, I've got to ask, what was your take on those battles? Because there was a lot of aggression, a lot of banging to catch up to Jab, who had 6 seconds at the end there.
I think it's alright because I was still going in the straight line, whereas if I wasn't in a straight line I would be very angry like they are, but it's okay.
I mean, you started 5th in this race. You were able to get a podium. Your home race is at Britain next week. What are the expectations from there, and what can you take away from this race to expect there?
Probably a lot of battling.
Seem to have a lot of battles in this league. Well, good job on the podium. Thrasher, do you have any questions for him?
No, I don't. Just congratulations on a podium.
Thank you.
Congrats. Now, Thrasher, I think I'll give it to you to interview Jab, the race winner, who somehow held on.
Jab,
Yeah.
you clown. Answer the question.
What's the question?
Ryan, did you not just ask this man a question?
No. He was
I
passing
said
over
for you
you.
to ask
Oh!
the question. Yeah.
I'm too busy texting
Yeah.
this retard named Davis.
Oh wow, on stream? Wow.
Oh,
Wow, that's a very nice
I
word.
love you, GSR. Please don't remove my commentary rule. No, but
I
okay.
hope they do now.
So,
I'm kidding.
okay,
Kidding.
So, alright.
Admin rolls next
so,
too.
Jab,
Kidding.
So, you got almost screwed twice off of a safety car. And you had already had a 3-second, and then you gained another penalty, so you were really pushing. How how focused were you on the last couple laps after getting that second penalty?
Well, first, I kind of got like distracted by, you know,
the lap car. He was there to help me, but like he made a mistake and that kind of threw me off. You know, but really the last few laps I was just trying to push as high as possible. I had extra warnings to like abuse track limits a little bit, but I didn't need to use it. And then I saw them going like 3 wide, battling like crazy behind me, so kept it clean, and we won.
Well, another thing I gotta ask. So you get a clean race sweep. You get 27 points. That continues your gap into the championship. Now, sadly, your teammate was the first to DNF in the race. So how does this does this carry your momentum into the rest of the next week, pretty much?
Britain, not really. Not really one of my best tracks, but I do it for America. But
Yeah,
yeah, but
ruin the Britain. Sorry,
yeah, we gotta,
I'm really.
independence. But we'll try our best. Obviously, McLaren's home race. British Grand Prix. Hopefully we can end with a 1-2 and win this constructors.
Ryan, do you have anything? Do you have any questions to
You didn't even
ask?
congratulate him, though. You didn't even congratulate him. Right
Well,
there.
can you
Right
wait
there.
a minute? That's why I'm asking you. I've got another question.
I
I'm
do,
saving
I
it
do
for the
actually.
end.
I do, but I think you should congratulate him first. That'd be a very
I
kind
would
gesture.
listen. Just ask him this question.
So, Jab, I've got to ask, when you saw that safety car late in the race, were you concerned that there was going to be a repeat of Portugal? And my second question to follow up with that is I'm watching here the last couple of laps. You picked up that penalty, then the next lap you were able to pull out a 5-0, which led Sabing Sako with a 6-1 the next lap within all that battling. You were able to pull out a second in that one lap to get the win. How crucial was it to run that lap after the penalty? Both those questions are my 2 questions. That's it.
The Portugal, I was kind of worried a little bit, but I was able to control. I'm in control instead of last week. I was in second, but I was a little worried, but I had some penalties that were kind of questionable that could possibly got removed, so I wasn't too worried, and everybody else had penalties. I knew with the battling, I could probably build a gap, but then that lap, just had to go for it after that lap. They told me they were battling, and I just had to go for it and set the fastest lap of the Grand Prix.
Well, congratulations on your win.
Listen,
Joshua,
squad.
do you have anything else
I
you wanna
had
say?
one more question.
Oh no!
did.
So,
Sorry, know what
Jab,
this one is.
we get Chick-fil-A, right?
Yeah, for everybody.
Everybody, nice.
I'll pay. I'll get Travis Chick-fil-A.
What about what about that battle with Finn? Is he gonna get Chick-fil-A for that too?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I gotta ask.
a
That
fight?
battle with Finn. How sweaty were you?
Bro,
How sweaty were you?
kind of got like pushed off a couple times, but he probably just locked up. But like, it was a good battle. But like, there was some moments where I thought we
feel
both were gonna
that.
kill each other. Like we were pinching each other on the grass. Like there was some moments, but well, we both survived that. But obviously he didn't survive the whole race. But that was a good battle until ended up getting clear. The win the race.
Well, congratulations
Jesus.
on your
Oh,
race.
I'm sorry.
win. And we'll be looking forward to possibly getting you another interview next week.
Which
Hopefully.
is Britain. Maybe might be the only American on podium that week. Who knows?
And he's
The way it's
usually the
going,
only
it could be.
American on the podium, anyways.
Well,
Because
unless
Black
Sam
Raw-
changes his nationality or somebody else, change
Black
their
Raw
nationality,
was
then
the
maybe.
next American. He was 13th, a lap down.
Maybe I don't know. Maybe you get what's his name back? William Lossell. No, I'm kidding. He'll start lagging. I'm only joking.
Yeah, well, anyways.
Hey,
just
he might be
end it-
another American
Just
on the
end it off already.
Hey, no, you didn't talk about SilentX now. You didn't get your chance to fully finish earlier. Talk about
did.
SilentX.
Oh yeah, no, you interrupted me because you're.
Yeah, because the safety car restart. Yeah, well, the safety car restart.
Okay,
you know,
well, for
Jab
the
was
final
accelerating.
time, SilentX and GSR are going together to create some merchandise, some GSR merchandise up on SilentXEnergy.com. They will be released February 28th. We have phone cases, hats, caps, sweatshirts, and t-shirts. So plus we eventually will get a little bit more, but for right now that's all we're starting. And then obviously he sells his healthy energy drinks, which are good. I've actually had some, and it was pretty good. But I'll tune over to Ryan to end the game.
Now, you speak about SilentX, and something I got a suggestion for is, every time Jab wins, I think everybody should get free Chick-fil-A from SilentX. Like, SilentX buys it and everybody gets it.
Jab gets
What do we think of
Chick-fil-A
that?
anyways. It don't matter.
But I'm seeing everybody else does, every time
No,
Jab
nobody
wins,
else
so,
deserves Chick-fil-A. Only Jab.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Maybe it's McLaren teammate, he should get it from. Anyways, next week is Silverstone. For all the tiers, it will be, I want to say the first race of March for the league of this year. We head into, during that month, the 3-year anniversary of GSR's first ever race. Which we'll note at some point. But Tier 4 races tomorrow as well at Austria. Make sure you tune into that. Silverstone's next week for Tier 1. Find out how all that goes. But till then, it's me and GSR Thrasher signing off. Have a good day, everybody.